we have view. So we'll be coming here as we continue to work practically in this course. So that's all about 2 panel. Now, I've talked about quick access bar already. Never mind me, I like to organize my classes. So that's the essence of trying to follow this note. Now, we have drafting setting tools. The drafting setting tools are very, very important in AutoCAD. Now, let me take you back to the AutoCAD screen. This last bar, we call it the drafting setting tools. This bar. So here, look at my mouse. We have the infer constraint. We have snap mode. Each of these buttons, we call them drafting setting tools. They are very, very important. Some of the tools here, they are functioning like your T-square when you are drawing on drawing board. They are functioning like T-square, like set square, like compounds, and so on. So it's very important we understand it. I dedicate a topic to using drafting setting tools and zooming tools in AutoCAD because it's very important. So that is that. Then we have some other things here. Where I try to explain each of the drafting setting tools. I will still explain them in details. But for now, let's try to see what each of them does. So it's important that we see what each of them does. So like snap mode, grid display, auto mode, polar tracking, object snap tracking, object snap, then object snap tracking. We also have the allow or disallow dynamic UCS, dynamic input, show or add line weight. Anyway, this note is available to you, but practically this is a practical thing. So these are the tools. Infer constraint. You may not have that in your version. It depends on the version you are using. We have snap mode. When you turn it on, you can snap objects in relation to one another. Then we have grid display. When you click on it, you can see that all these graph like something, all those lines have gone. And when you enable it back, they are back. So I want to tell you that in the drafting setting tools, any tool that is blue, that is painted blue, it is enabled. But anyone that is gray, it is disabled. Like I'm trying to disable snap mode, I've disabled it, but let me enable it again. You can see that it is blue now. When you click on it, move your mouse away, it will turn gray. It is the same thing with grid. Let me disable grid. You can see that it is gray in color, but when you click on it again, it turns blue in color. Then we have the orthogonal mode, auto mode. Auto mode allows you to draw line only in vertical and horizontal direction. You can see that if I select line, I click this first point, then I can only move my line horizontally or vertically. See the way the line is behaving horizontally and vertically. So that is the essence of auto mode. But when I disable it, my line can be drawn at any angle. You can see that I can draw the line at any angle. Now we have the polar tracking. These two buttons, they don't work together. If you enable one, the other one has to be disabled. Let me enable auto. You can see that it's disabling polar tracking automatically. When you enable polar tracking, auto will be disabled. When you enable auto, polar tracking will be disabled because polar tracking allows you to draw your line at any angle. You will set the angle like a set square. You can draw a line at 90 degrees. You can see something appears, they say polar, the length of the line at angle 90 degrees. This is 0 degree. This is 270. This is 180. And this is 90. So that is the essence of polar tracking. Then we have object snap. Object snap, it allows you to pick exact point. Like if I want to pick the middle of this point, you can see this symbol appearing, this midpoint. If it doesn't appear, I will bring my mouse, I will right click on object snap and make sure midpoint is enabled. Then let me press the escape button. You can see that this line command is still active. So you can do settings here while your command is active. So I can pick the midpoint. So object snap must be enabled for beginner AutoCAD user. Is very important, even for every AutoCAD user. Then we have 3D object snap, we have object snap tracking, and so on. By the time we get to that topic, I will explain more about drafting setting tools, how important they are in AutoCAD. Okay, back to our presentation. We have other tools there like dynamic input and so on and so forth. Then we have buttons at the right hand end of the status bar. The buttons at the right hand end of the status bar. So like this set of buttons, we find them at the bottom right hand corner. Their uses are only meaningful when you are working practically. Alright, let's see them practically now. Going back to AutoCAD, I'm referring to the buttons here. Look at my mouse here. The buttons like model, if you click on that, it brings you to paper space. If you click on this paper, it will turn you to model space. But I will explain that before I close this session. Then we have you remember that we came here the other time to change our workspace. I said you can do it here, or you come up here, you can change your workspace there. Then there are some other settings that when you click on this arrow here, you can disable some of them that you don't need. So as we continue, like a scale, you can set scale. As we continue, you'll be learning how to use them and so on and so forth. You can lock toolbars, so on, and do some other things there. Now, let me come back here. Now, I did not mention this layout tab. Call it layout tab. Immediately after the drawing area, we have the layout tab. This layout tab, we have the model, we have layout 1, layout 2. What does it mean? Layout is where you make your drawing. Now the model layout, the model space is where you make your raw drawings. You can draw the whole of Nigeria here. If you know the dimension of every house, every land, every road, every tree, every human being, you can draw them here if you're able to. But it doesn't have limit. It's just continue scrolling left and right. You will see that it doesn't have limit. But under layouts, that is where you prepare your drawing for printing. You know, it comes out in form of paper. So you can rename a layout by right clicking on it. I right click here. I can rename it and call it front view. You can generate different views from your drawing. Then this layout too, I can rename it and call it side view. Then you can right click the last one and add a new layout. I have a new one there. It's called one. I have another one. You can have as many, up to 100, as many as you want. Right click. So what is the essence of this? From your model, where you make your drawing, you can extract different aspects of drawing to generate front view, side view, assembly. You can right click and call this one, can call it as if it is machine drawing, you can call it assembly drawing. Yeah, you can call this one roof. If it is architectural, you can call it window, and so on and so forth. So you can generate different layout from your model. So model is where you make your drawing. The layouts are where you prepare your drawing for printing or publishing. Then this command window, I've already talked about it, is very important. If somebody is going to be frustrated in AutoCAD, he will not pay attention to command window. So it's important. You can even expand it, make it bigger. There's no sense of doing that. I prefer it that way. In as much I can see the white area of it where the command is shown. And this is a gray area, we have information. It's going to be giving you information. So most of the time, you need to be paying attention. AutoCAD is both character user interface and is also graphic user interface. What I call CUI and GUI. That is, you can operate AutoCAD by typing command. You can type a command. There are many commands. You'll be learning them as you continue. Even line is a command, circle is a command. You can see that I'm typing different commands. It's even suggesting. So that's character user interface. You can operate AutoCAD by that. Then if it is graphic, you can pick buttons. AutoCAD also works with buttons. Instead of typing line, I can come here and pick line. The same thing is going to happen. Look at it. If I click line there, you see line specify first point. Now let me escape and clear the command window by pressing escape button. If I type line and press enter, the same thing also comes out. Line specify first point. So either you type line here by character or you pick a graphic button, the same thing happens. So that is AutoCAD for you. Now back to our presentation. So these are the tools on the right hand side. And in the next class or next video, we are going to learn AutoCAD basics. So I want to stop here for now. I've tried to show you the AutoCAD interface,